Every single person that voted from Consultative, it's not you that voted, it's actually your ancestor that voted.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. Last week we saw a record-breaking media briefing by Floyd Shivambu in his own personal capacity. And since then, all eyes have been on him to see what is your next move, because in the MK party, a lot of people felt that he's being persecuted, not being given a chance. And that speech by Jacob Zuma on the 16th of June was the most unfortunate. And after that speech, all eyes were on Floyd Shivambu to see what is your next move. What are you going to do next, since you are no longer needed in the MK party? Well, he did call the media briefing to let the country know that he is on a consultative journey to find out from the South Africans on whether he can form a political party or not. I mean, he did receive a lot of love from many people. Others were really criticizing him, but at the end of the day, Floyd had spoken on the fact that the next move is him wanting to be a leader. Now, in the middle of him trying to form a political party while still saying, I'm a member of the MK party, the same thing that Zuma did during the elections, where ANC even took him to court in regards to the MK party name. The same thing that Zuma did, Floyd is doing it. By doing it, he wants that sympathy support before he forms his own party. Yesterday, he went to ENCA to have an interview, and it was the first interview since that media briefing. And what really transpired on that interview is the reason we are doing this video, to say that Floyd, in the middle of wanting to form a party, doing this thing of consultative process, he is destroying the MK party, and unfortunately also destroying himself in the process of that. I will start with the focus on MK party and leave the best for later, which is him destroying himself. And with that said, I am not going to play the clips from the ENCA interview because, well, ENC would not allow that. But what I'm going to do is to look at the notes from that interview, because I was listening to it and I had to write down some of the most interesting things, like the fact that in the MK party, Floyd believes that he was being accused of trying to overthrow Jacob Zuma as the president. So basically, he says that there are people in the MK who wanted to remove him because they felt that he's becoming a threat to Jacob Zuma. Who are those people? One of them is someone who Floyd says he's on drugs and he's also suffering from alcohol intake. That person is Nhlamulo Ndlela. Floyd says that Nhlamulo is on drugs and also he's taking a lot of alcohol, which makes him one of those people who thinks they are superior. They have the power.
Every single person that voted from Consultative, it's not you that voted, it's actually your ancestor that voted. And there's no ways that Stephen Hazen has got as many ancestors as us. It can't be. Numerically, just numerically, there's more black ancestors than there is white ancestors.
And he says Nhlamulo takes pride in saying that he's going to tell Jacob Zuma lies about Floyd, and he's working with a gullible daughter of Jacob Zuma, who is Duduzile Zuma. They are working together to report to Jacob Zuma about the movements, the lies, the so-called lies of Floyd. He's really not afraid to say that Nhlamulo is on drugs and suffering from alcohol. He's trying to manipulate Jacob Zuma together with Duduzile, wanting to destroy Floyd inside the MK. And when you look at that, you start to really look at the fact that there's a problem of power dynamics in the MK party. I mean, there's also an accusation of around 7 million that is being withdrawn from the account of MK party. Floyd said that during the media briefing, saying, well, MK party is not innocent. They're withdrawing a lot of money, which can really result them in being deregistered by IEC. While doing that, he also mentioned the fact that MK party is working together with Morocco to support them against Western Sahara. And I would think, as a person who's been in politics for some time, Floyd would not really come with such lies trying to gain momentum. I think it would be very dangerous if he goes to do that. But let us look at the point of that being very dangerous to the MK party. Let's say maybe they are indeed withdrawing 7 million per month. Automatically, If investigations are done and they found that there is the truth in what Floyd said, deregistration is done with the MK party. Let's say those are lies. You go back to the issue of working with Morocco. That is to say, MK party has received money to support Morocco against Western Sahara. Another dangerous move indeed, because not only are they really damaging their party, they are also damaging the support on the ground. Because why would you then choose Morocco over Western Sahara? Another questionable decision by the MK party. But the deeper problems lies in the members of the MK party. Let's take, for instance, you have a former judge who was impeached. You take the former judge, you put him as a deputy president. No knowledge, no experience of politics. All he knows is being on the bench delivering judgments. But you give that person a position of a deputy president. Politics and judiciary, they are not the same. You might be in parliament, they might be doing judgment there. They are not the same. He is a doctor, educated, but still, politics is not about education. That is why you would have a president that never finished matric. No disrespect on that. But politics is something that you really need to take serious. So the decision to give Dr. Hlophe that position of deputy president is very questionable, and it is never going to bear fruits for the MK party. Let us move along. Duduzile Zuma, the daughter of Jacob Zuma. She is in parliament, that's fine. But why is she in Pan-African parliament? Do you not have deserving leaders like Mkitama? Do you not have those people that you can really say, go and make a contribution to the Pan-African parliament, but you gave it to the daughter, Duduzile Zuma, which really now brings the question of power dynamics. Are these positions selected on who's better favored and who's not? Those are the things that when you look at the situation of Floyd, you start to worry that he was never going to make it. Look at the issue of Zuma bragging about this thing of having 7 secretary generals. It cannot be. It cannot be that you are bragging about such things. Also, you are changing treasurer generals there, and Floyd says that is one of the reasons we are looking at an issue of millions of money being withdrawn from the account, because if you dare speak out, they are removing you. By that, MK party is in trouble with itself because they've been declining with leadership. And when you put Floyd in the picture, then he becomes that needed push to destroy them even further. Now let us move from the MK party and focus on Floyd as a leader. I was really interested in listening to what he says, and some of the things, they make sense, some are questionable. Floyd says EFF is a cult. We cannot argue with him because he was in the EFF, and he's supporting that claim by saying the only person who will know what a cult looks like is the person who spent time in it. One thing he said was, I learned more in the MK party in 6 months than in the EFF in 11 or 10 years. And then that really caught my attention to say, you are not being truthful, Floyd. It cannot be that you learned a lot from a party that is full of disruptions, that is not in order, that you actually call that a party should not be a family stokvel. But then you go further to say you learned a lot from that. What did you learn? Did you learn that people go there to fight? Did you learn that, well, you can be family and receive more attention than others? Or did you learn the issue of Jacob Zuma being a fighter of freedom during his days? Was it that you learned the stories of Robben Island? Because it cannot be that Floyd learned a lot in 6 months from that unbalanced political party. I dispute that. Let us move along. So Floyd has received the attention he needs. And as he receives that attention, he goes on to really be active on Twitter. He puts out a poll to find out from the Twitter followers about the creation of a new political party. He says in light of the political developments in South Africa, with the three largest political parties being untrustworthy, cults, family-run, and directionless. What is to be done? What do we do? And then there are three options. One says, new political party. The second, be within the parties. And last, do nothing. Surprisingly, there were around 10,000 people who voted. Within that 44 minutes, new political party received 32%, be within the parties received 21%, and do nothing received 47%, which really implied that on Twitter, people don't care about him. They want him to sit and relax, do nothing, don't form anything, don't join anything. And as it was expected, within that 44 minutes, Floyd deleted the poll. Why? Because he realized that it is not performing. And also, it might be because he's realizing that on Twitter or on X, the majority of people are EFF followers. As you can see with many polls that have been done, EFF always wins. As he has also alluded when he spoke to say that, well, some political parties are winning on social media, but when the elections come, they don't perform better reflecting what is going on social media. So one of the reasons is to say, I'm deleting it because the many people who have voted are the EFF people. It could be true, but the problem here is that you are taking too many steps at once. You held a media briefing. Many people were glad to hear you speak out. Finally, you are showing that you can be a leader. Why not keep quiet? Be on the ground. Work on the ground, and after some time come again, hold a media briefing, and then there will be a lot of demand on what's going on. But if you are always tweeting, talking, and holding interviews, people will get tired of you. That is why there was no need for him to put that poll, because it will backfire. By backfiring, it is not only damaging that party that is coming, it is also damaging his reputation. Because now Floyd is being seen as a very, very bitter person. He's seen as someone who wants revenge, someone who wants power. And if Floyd is not careful, as a very, very intelligent person that politics of South Africa need, he stands to lose. You can be one of the most needed or loved person, but if you are not careful, you are going to be the most hated. Many political parties in the country do not work because it is not just about I am liked. It's about what you are doing to retain that attention. And it should not really focus on one leader. It should focus on a team. That is why many are failing. Many are really starting parties, and within a short space of time, they're dying. MK party, if they are not careful, they are not going to go to the 2029 elections. If they go there, they're going to go down from the 14 to the 2%. Floyd Shivambu on the other side, if he's not careful, he's going to regret joining politics, because in the end, it is going to paint him as a bitter ex. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning into the channel, and until next time, cheers.